In today's video, I'm going to be having a look at the Hong Kong situation and what's been going on with the National People's Congress law that's due out today. The chances are that by the end of this video, the law will have already been released. Hello and welcome to another ACY Securities Market Update. My name is Alistair Schultz and I'm going to be a host for today's trading journey. Now in today's video, I'm really looking at the idea of what's going on with Hong Kong and the law that is coming in from China. Now we know there is a national security law. No one has really seen the draft, including the chief executive of Hong Kong, Carrie Lam, but we are looking at seeing where it goes. Now, some of the things that we do know about this law are that it is going to allow security agents to operate in Hong Kong. We know that it's going to allow China to prosecute in some legal matters, and it is going to allow that chief executive Lam to pick judges and to also hear some national security matters. Now, beyond that, there's been very little detail. It is an interesting point because tomorrow, July 1st, marks an anniversary of when Hong Kong was handed over by the English side or the British side and back to Chinese rule. So it does bring a point of drawing a line in the sand that has been expected to be coming for some time, and it is also causing issues when it comes to who and where businesses are going to go from this point on moving forward. Now, it is really this final push. We are expecting it to arrive today. It is probably almost out right now. And it is in timeline with that 1st of July problem, and we've seen mass protests on July 1 for a number of years. But there's been more coming towards them in the past 18 months in terms of media, purely because of the attention that they have been grabbing and how large the protests have been, and of course the fact that they have turned violent. We've already heard from the UK and Taiwan, who are already considering and are allowing anyone who is living in Hong Kong to get a quick path through to citizenship in either of their countries. And from there, we've seen that the majority of Hong Kongers are not all that happy and actually do oppose the law. The biggest concerns are going to be is how far the law really goes. We don't know. It's difficult to speculate on because we haven't really seen any draftings of it. All we know is that it's being approved today, or at least it looks that way. So regardless of this factor, the message is clear. This is the line and this is where you don't cross it. So what are we expecting to see next? We already know that this was a contentious point for the US going into the Hong Kong situation, and it has been a bit of a battleground between China and America. And of course, we've seen the UK enter that party and as well Australia to some degree. So now we're already seeing these measures to sort of push countries, including the US, to have more domestic production. And that has been the case for a number of years. But now that's also going to look like that's going to be happening from a business perspective as a financial center for Hong Kong. Are the companies that are there, whether they be from the US, the UK, Australia, or anywhere else in the world, likely to move their business out of Hong Kong and into another community such as Singapore? That is something that we're going to have to keep an eye on. But regardless, all of these laws coming in today with the national security measures does mean that we're going to have a very high focus on how it moves forward with that relationship between China and America. We already know that we've had visa issues, we've had tariffs, we've had planes banned. What's going to come next is really the question that we're looking at. The current point that we've seen, or the most recent news that we've seen overnight or in the last couple of days, has been for China to also ban American visas who might be impacting the Hong Kong situation. So you can pretty much guarantee that anyone that's in the White House likely has already got a visa restriction on being able to travel to Hong Kong. Now, what am I expecting to see happen? My thoughts are that we are likely going to see more tit-for-tat behavior to occur, but it does seem like that behavior is starting to amplify a little bit. I'm expecting to see that the US election really does have China as a focal point for both Biden and, of course, President Trump. And the expectation from there is that in November, between now and then, we're going to see this ramping up and the hostilities likely to come with it, which also means expect it to be volatile on US markets and, of course, Chinese markets if you are trading them. Now, that's all I'm really going to be discussing for today for now. When the law does come out and we get a little bit more clarity, I will likely make a video then. But until then, I hope you have enjoyed today's video. And of course, if you want to get in contact with me about anything, please feel free to shoot me an email at talktoal@acy.com and like and subscribe to this video so you get more great content from me and ACY Securities in the future. Have a great trading day ahead.